After our Great Pyramid visit and a church service at a small Catholic chapel in Cairo, we stopped for a quick lunch at a Chinese restaurant in Cairo. On our way to the resto, we viewed another stunning view of the Great Pyramid. The history of Egypt has long been long and wealthy due to the flow of the Nile River and its fertile and delta, as well as the accomplishments of Egypt's native inhabitants and outside influence. The Egyptian Museum in Cairo, commonly known as simply the Egyptian Museum, is located in Cairo, Egypt, and houses the largest collection of Egyptian antiquities in the world. It houses over 120,000 items with representatives amounts on display. Located in a building built in 1901, it is the largest museum in Africa. Among its masterpieces are Pharaoh Tutankhamun's treasure, including its iconic gold burial mask, widely considered one of the best-known works of art in the world and a prominent symbol of ancient Egypt. The Egyptian Museum in Cairo houses a great and enormous collections of artifacts, mummies, coffins, stones, ancient belongings, and even food types that used to be buried with the kings before death to use in the afterlife. We were provided with audio guides inside the museum. I think it was not properly working, so we relied on the stories told by our tour guide. Our tour at the ground floor brought us through the Old Kingdom, Middle Kingdom, and the New Kingdom. Highlights of the Old Kingdom are the seated statue of the Pharaoh Djoser, the builder of the first pyramid in Egypt. The triad of Pharaoh Menkaure with a queen and a goddess. The large seated statue of Pharaoh Khafre with the falcon at the back of his head. The wooden statue of Ka-Apir and the statue of King Khufu, the builder of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Most of the guides stopped in front of this 4,006 years old limestone statue of Prince Rahotep and Nefer. The gray granite statue of Ramesses II as a child, protected by the god Horus, depicted as a falcon. The colossal figures of Amenhotep III, who ruled around 1386 to 1353, and his wife Taye. It is indeed amazing to see the names and figures of these pharaohs. I remembered my high school world history class where we had to memorize all those names of kings and pharaohs of Egypt. Tutankhamun was the antepenultimate pharaoh of the 18th dynasty of ancient Egypt. He ascended to the throne around the age of 9 and reigned until his death around the age of 19. The most significant actions of his reign were reversing the religio-political changes enacted by his predecessor, Akhenaten, during the Amarna period. He restored the traditional polytheistic form of ancient Egyptian religion, undergoing the religious shift known as Atenism, and moved the royal courts away from Akhenaten's capital, Amarna. Also, Tutankhamun was one of the few kings worshipped as a deity during his lifetime. This was usually done posthumously for most pharaohs. In popular culture today, Tutankhamun is known for his vastly opulent wealth found during the 1922 discovery of his tomb, the only such tomb to date to have been found near intact condition. The discovery of his tomb is widely considered one of the greatest archaeological discoveries of all time. Since then, he was referred to colloquially as King Tut. Ramesses II is commonly called as Ramesses the Great, was an Egyptian pharaoh who ruled in the 19th dynasty. He was credited for building several largest monuments in Egypt, and he was the pharaoh mentioned in the Bible as the Exodus pharaoh. The ancient Egyptians wanted to defy death and live forever. In preparation, they mummified the dead, burying them in coffins covered with religious scenes and texts, and surrounding them with grave goods to sustain them in the afterlife.